feel real good. So how do you feel?
Good.
You ready for this new album?
Oh yeah, we ready for it. It should have been out, to be honest. Should have been out, but when it comes out, I think it's going to do good because so far the little buzzing that's been going around, from what I can tell from the record company, is good, positive. So people who heard it already like it. So hopefully anybody else will hear that they'll like it also.
Now, one thing that is a shame about today, here we are, the year of 95, it's nearly 96, and there's a lot of people out there who are just now getting into hip-hop and rap, and they don't really know the history. They don't know about Schoolie D. They don't know about you. I mean, what do you have to say to people like that who don't really sort of go back beyond 93 or even 90?
I'll tell them simply like this. You have to know the past in order to deal with the present, in order to be prepared for the future. If you don't know the past, you don't know what's happening, because you're not going to know you're going to be ill prepared for the future if you don't know about the past. Right. So people nowadays who doing hip hop, whack MCs as I call them, they doing things and it sounds good for the moment, but soon enough it's going to fall apart because their heart is not there. They're in it for the money. They're not in it for hip hop.
Right. And it's like anything. It's like if you do it for over a long time and you slowly build on it and it's coming from a positive place, in the end it will succeed. And you've been doing that. Do you want to just break it down for people, like how far back you actually go, like when you first really started, when you felt like I'm really doing this music?
Well, it goes back to when I was like about 7 or 8. I mean, I used to get beatings for going to parties when I was a kid because I was too young in my grandmother's eyes.
And this was where? What part of the city?
Up in Castle Hill in the Bronx, when band would come out to the park and play, or you have to go over to Bronxdale or somewhere to see not Kool Herc, to see Breakout of Baron or see Mario. Sometimes we would go uptown to see Kool Herc play because Herc was in a different part of the Bronx. But this goes back to when I was very, very young, very young.
What were those parties like with Kool Herc? I mean, they're legendary now.
I mean, those parties, that was hip-hop. When you had 2 records of the same record, just mixing it, and a guy on the mic rhyming.
And then jacking the power from somewhere, is it?
Yeah, you can. I mean, but sometimes you didn't even have to do that. Sometimes you had a homeboy who lived on the 3rd floor. You got to do is get a bunch of extension cords. Sometimes you didn't have to jack the power. Sometimes it was there for you. Right. But if it wasn't there for you, it was always ways to get it. Right. See? But those are fun days, you know. Back then, I mean, you can't do that nowadays because of the mentality of the people participating in the event or the police. See, at least back then, up in the Bronx where we was at doing this, the police knew. They knew what kind of flavor we was kicking back then. You can't do that now. I don't think right now you can do that in the Bronx right now because of the mentality of the police and the conflict between the public and the police. You can't do that no more.
It seems like the same with the graffiti. I mean, the trains are being totally cleaned up and you don't see very much new graffiti now either.
Well, I wasn't really into none of that graffiti shit before. I really don't care about that. I mean, I didn't care if the train was white or whatever. I don't care. The graffiti shit don't mean nothing to me.
You just care about the music.
I don't give a fuck about graffiti.
Right. Now, what about KRS-One? When did you first officially hook up with him?
When we was in a shelter. We had nowhere to live. Right. This was back when Scott was our social worker. Scott LaRock was our social worker. This goes back to, what, early 80s, late 70s, when Broadway International Disco was open on 146 and Broadway. And we met up there and we linked up and just carried it on from there. It's just tragic that what happened to him, you know.
Right, that was right when you guys were working. You'd been working with them just that day, right? And then
that's the day we just signed the contract that day. That same day he got killed, the same day we signed the contract together to my album, the first album that was out, yeah.
Right. And then he was killed later that day. Now, here we are, 6 albums later, Kill the Rhythm Like a Homicide. How do you feel that your music has changed?
Well, I try to disrespect women. Because before I was just disrespecting them, and it sounded good to people and to me back then, but as I listened to the music that I did back then, listen to some of the lyrics now, I would definitely say I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said that. My basic thing is just don't disrespect the women while I rhyme.
What made you sort of change your attitude in that?
Women, period. you know, because I'm smart enough, and I'm too smart to have to make a record, and in order for it to sell, I have to disrespect women. I don't have to do that. I ain't got to do that. I got other things I could say. So if it changed in any way, I just say I don't disrespect women. Matter of fact, one of the tracks on a new album is called "Enough Respect." Ladies, enough respect. That's what I want to, you know, change. I mean, and I fast and pray a lot that everybody who rhymes, brothers who be rhyming, lay off the women.
Right. Also, too, another thing that makes the new album so unique is that you've done something that no one else has really done. You've said, fuck this East versus West. You have your San Francisco side, New York side, and it's like, that really just throws it off for everyone who jumps into it. What do you think of, like, people, this mentality that it's either East or West?
I really don't give a fuck how people look at it. Because I look at it like this here, point blank. If I'm being challenged to a rhyme or MCing contest, I don't give a shit where you're from. East Coast or West Coast, when you step on that stage with me, it's death.
That's it.
That's it.
Now, earlier you were talking here. When I stopped by your place here, you had it hooked up, the turntables, going through, digging in the crates for some really old fucking shit. Now your heart is still connected with that. We got a room full of records here, so you're first and foremost a music fan, reggae, hip hop, soul, R&B, good music, right?
Reggae, dancehall. This is not my crate. All of this is my shit. I got 37 crates back here. Only one of them is American music.
The rest is Jamaican.
This is all Jamaican music, everything you see.
So you never really lived in Jamaica, did you?
My mother's from there, though.
And have you ever been there?
When I was about 4.
I mean, I think you're ready for a trip back there now.
Yeah, well, how I want to go back there now is totally different than just to visit. I'm buying stuff down there, so when I go down there, we're going. Me and my wife made plans. We're definitely going, and when we go, we have plans.
You should bring a lot of your new music too. I think people would enjoy it.
What, the J.A.?
Yeah, although I know you said that one of the tracks you re-recorded it because it was too hard reggae for the album, right?
Which one? Oh, yeah, Cincy.
Right, Cincy.
That was originally supposed to be done with a rhythm called Pepper Seed Rhythm.
Right.
Right? But it was too hard. I mean, they didn't understand that. But when I do the show live, I'm not doing a Cincy from the album. I'm doing the original Cincy from the Pepper Seed Rhythm. Now, people just, I mean, I hope they can understand it. I mean, I'm not going to say every show I'm going to do it. I'll vary, you know, go back and forth.
Right.
But it's a few tunes on that album that we had that was reggae, and we had to switch it to American music. You know, like the one me and KRS-One did, Bad Boys Back in Town. We were going to use some different music. I think we were going to use a rhythm called Tree Trunk. Too hard. It was too much. It was too dance hall for American people who's selling and publishing the album, you know, things like that. So I had to please their ass. So
we should do 2 versions of the whole album.
That don't matter, because when I do the next album, when I do the show for this album, I'll be doing the originals. Okay. See, I'll be doing the originals. So people are going to get a flavor of both, of the one that's on the album and the one that's live.
In fact, I know a lot of groups like Aswad used to do a thing where they do a regular version and then they do a dub version of a lot of their albums.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. People could have the commercial, but when they see it live, they get a dub version of it.
But one thing I've noticed since I've been here in New York, I come here a lot, is that there's a much more of a love and appreciation of reggae all around New York than there is like back in the, generally in the West Coast.
Because people coming to realize without the reggae wasn't going to be no hip-hop. Yeah. They got to realize that. I mean, even my man Denard, who was here, we be having arguments sometime about it. And then he comes to realize I'm right. Because if it wasn't for Herc playing that reggae and the drum beats of the reggae music, mixing them over and over, and the guys catching the rhythm and starting to talk over, and that's where MCing was born from.
From the instrumentals.
Hip hop, right. From the hip hop point of view, because MCing was on a record was back when Rocco Jocko. Matter of fact, before Rocco Jocko did it to Love Is the Message, King Tim III from the Fatback Band had did it. See, and that was back when I was in the 3rd and 4th grade. Right. See, but as far as hip-hop music is concerned, that's where it was born, through the reggae music. So I guess people, as they get a little older, they get a little more wiser or understandable about the science of the music,
Right.
where it comes from.
Let me ask you a question. Back in the 70s too, like with the American disco, didn't they also on the 12 inches do instrumental versions?
Yeah, they did, but see,
I know it's a different music, but the concept was similar, right?
yeah, but they never had a break in it.
Oh, okay.
They never had a break in it. They just straight out instrumental, never had a break in it. That's why to this day I can't stand Love Is the Message.
Right.
Everybody loves Love Is. I don't like that dumb record. You know, MFSB, very good, whoever made a lot of million, whatever.
The band who are credited with the birth of house music. Right.
You know, yeah, I don't like Love Is the Message because the break part in there to the people who dig that kind of shit
Right.
is boring to me.
Right.
I mean, you fucking guy playing a bass and some guy on some xylophone, doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like, come on, man.
Right.
What we call hip-hop and what we call music that we could get down to is something like Apache, something like that, something with a beat.
Right.
You know, that's what we do.
Right. What do you think of most of the reggae artists that tend to get marketed in the States, like Patra, who get pushed a lot?
See, I can't really speak on Patra or anybody else because I don't know their contract.
Right.
I can't speak on it.
In terms of music, though.
The music is fine, but like I'm saying, that's as far as I can go. The music is fine, but I can't say anything about if they should have crossed over, why did they. I'm not saying anything because every man, every person has an equal right to live, and they can do exactly what they want to do, and I'll just wish them the best of luck doing whatever they're doing.
A good diplomatic answer. In other words, like what we say here at HipHopSlam, don't knock another person's hustle because you just don't know. Whatever anyone does is cool.
There's enough money out there for everybody. As long as they're not doing nothing illegal, if they whatever they're doing, you're doing your thing, keep it going.
Just Ice, are you still a big comic book fan?
Yeah, man, but see, I don't have none no more. I mean, I have what kind of? Oh, I have Conans hanging around. I got big stacks of Conans in one of these closets, but I don't really have time for that anymore because all my money goes into records now.
Okay. Well, we'll have to hook you up with any records we get, particularly reggae ones. Yeah. Do you ever long for the old days? You ever miss, like, you know, when it was new and exciting, like Cool Herc days?
I don't miss it for the simple fact I don't look back. I don't look forward. I don't. That's something I don't do. Personal life, social life, music life, I never look back. No, I don't wish it. I don't wish for them to come back because if they were to come back, think like this here. If them days were to come back exactly as they were, you know we would be regressing instead of progressing.
Right.
We don't need that.
So where do you think we're headed for? Where are we progressing to 5 years from now?
Music-wise, because I say to this day, hip-hop still hasn't reached its peak, and reggae is a baby in the United States. Yeah. Reggae is a baby. It's still sucking milk. We're going to be here a very long time. It's going to take different forms, but it's going to be here.
Okay, kill the rhythm like a fucking homicide. Just Ice, thank you very much, man.
Got it.
A pleasure. You want to do a freestyle before we head out of here? Say whatever's on your mind. Curse as much as you want, goddammit.
Nah, I ain't going to curse. I'll leave you with something. Okay, it's a freestyle. It's about Sensimias. I got the chronic, it's the hydroponic. Sensimilia strong and long like the tonic. Smoke up in a chalice, burn a big spliff of my skunk. Light it up, yo, pass my blunt. Get lifted, twisted, bring on the rah-rah. Give it to me, pass off my la-la. I got a feeling and a rustle, check out my style. Then you bust it open, you get to rolling, then you smoking, then you start smoking. My head hangs, my eyes turn red. I sharpen up my skills, that'll kill a next man dead. Do what you figure, you can't get rid of. You think you got skills, you's a real funny nigga. My rhymes flexed in something kind of excellent. I see you starting to sweat, just Ice, I gotta represent. I sat back, watched the game and got vexed quick. A lot of them try to get nice upon the mic, but y'all ain't really shit. I flow hard, know my job, keep a body bag. My pants sag back, Tim's in a black rag. Yo, bitch, I got the style with the funky flow. Lyrics for the shows, for the hoes, and for the radios.
All right. Okay.
Peace.